Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Skerrit, Senator the Honorable Casanela Vale, Minister for Public Works and the Digital Economy, Honorable Ian Douglas, Minister for Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Innovation, Business and Export Development, and Parliamentary Representative for the Portsmouth constituency, other honorable members of Cabinet, Your Excellency Lukun, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the Commonwealth of Dominica, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Liran, Project Manager, Xinjiang West Coast Road Project Company Limited, Mr. Eric Luis, Deputy CTO, Father Jackie, our parish priest, invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you for accepting our invitation to celebrate the handing over and commissioning of the West Coast bridges located at Makushri, Batali, and Point Round. The bridges were constructed under the China-aided West Coast Road Post-Erika Rehabilitation Project. In addition to the 3 new bridges, which will be commissioned today, the project involved 46 additional interventions. The project commenced on March 28, 2017, halted for approximately 7 months due to the passage of Hurricane Maria, and was completed on June 15, 2020. To welcome us to this very important ceremony, I will now call on Honorable Ian Douglas, the Parliamentary Representative for the Portsmouth constituency.
Thank you very much, PS. Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Skerrit. Senator the Honorable Casanela Vale, Minister for Public Works and the Digital Economy. Other members of Cabinet. Your Excellency Lukun, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps. Your Excellency Steve Farrell, Secretary to the Cabinet. Mr. Roland Ray, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Works and the Digital Economy. Other Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Liran, Project Manager, Xinjiang West Coast Road Project Company Limited. Mr. Eric Luis, Deputy Chief Technical Officer in the Ministry of Public Works and the Digital Economy. Father Jackie, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm delighted to have been asked to welcome you and to give welcome remarks at this occasion this afternoon. The formal opening of the 3 bridges magnificently constructed by our friends from the People's Republic of China. When the history of this country is written years from now, it will be acknowledged that the People's Republic of China has played one of the greatest roles in Dominica's development and has been our best economic development partner in the 21st century. I have traveled the West Coast Road all my life, and I know that when I speak for all West Coast residents, and indeed the entire country, in applauding the government of Dominica and our friends from the People's Republic of China for the splendid work done to construct not only the Leblanc Highway, and again to come to our assistance to rehabilitate this highway after the devastation caused to the road after Tropical Storm Erika and more recently Hurricane Maria. It is a great day for all of us gathered here, and listening to this opening ceremony as we celebrate the construction of more climate resilient infrastructure in Dominica, just like the York Valley Bridge and the China Friendship Bridge. And even as we celebrate the opening of these pieces of infrastructure, we celebrate the growth and the strengthening of the great bonds of friendship between the Commonwealth of Dominica and the People's Republic of China for yet another $50 million gift and 46 additional interventions. Once again, I welcome you to this auspicious ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Douglas. The Ministry of Public Works and the Digital Economy has been working very closely with the contractors Xinjiang West Coast Road Project Company Limited during the construction period. Our engagement with the company intensified over the past few months as we worked to ensure that the bridges would meet practical completion before this hurricane season. Minister Lavid in particular wanted to ensure that the bridges were handed over before the peak season, bearing in mind the hurdles that we encountered during the COVID-19 pandemic. So to provide us with remarks, I'll now call on the Senator, the Honorable Catherine Laville, Minister for Public Works and the Digital Economy.
Today signifies yet another moment in our lives where history will record the commissioning of 3 bridges. As history is generally written by survivors, we who are present today need to ensure that history tells the truth and it reflects the tone, texture, and nuances of a challenging reality. We must ensure that our children are made to understand the fortitude of a government that has changed our fortunes even in the advent of global economic, environmental, and now health challenges. So we must tell everyone what we witnessed, and I will surely help you to put this into context. Tell the writers of history that several areas along the West Coast Road were damaged during the passage of Tropical Storm Erika in August of 2015. Tell them that just a few months after this disaster, a technical team from the People's Republic of China arrived on island and carried out feasibility studies which were completed in January of 2016. Let us recall that on November 24th of 2016, an implementation agreement was signed between the Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China and the Ministry of Public Works and Ports for the China-aided West Coast Road Post-Erika Rehabilitation Project for over $50 million. The project involved the rehabilitation of damaged areas along the 45-kilometer Leblanc Highway, formerly known as the West Coast Road, to include construction of 3 new bridges, namely Marquishery, Battery, and Point Rung. Rehabilitation of 13 culvert crossings, rehabilitation of 26 areas that included road edge, subgrade, and pavement failures, 7 areas of improvement of drainage systems, and installation of safety features such as guardrails, road markings, and signage. Construction commenced on March 28th of 2017, and completion was earlier this month. The defects liability period shall be 24 months beginning today. Now, these are the facts. This is the scope. But I will now delve deeper into the scenery of the stories for the sake of the writers of our history. Our West Coast Road was first rehabilitated by the People's Republic of China and handed over in April of 2012. This intervention was over $100 million. This project addressed some of the most vulnerable areas on our West Coast, and this is quite commendable. I was very proud to work as an engineer on this project back then. So this today is full circle. Our good friends from the People's Republic of China are not just friends for a season, but they are friends for life. Their effort to rehabilitate a road for the second time after a storm 3 years after construction was initially completed signifies loyalty, signifies pride and commitment to partnership. And we are grateful and honored to have you as partners. Almost as if Erika wasn't enough, we were then subjected to the fury of Hurricane Maria. Our counterparts working on the road was certainly not spared. The campsite and batch plants at Bulu Estate were devastated. Members of the construction company departed the island in the days following the event. Had the construction crew not evacuated from that site on the night of the storm, the storyline today could have been significantly different. Praise God that your lives were spared. Several of the interventions where construction work had already begun received additional damage, while other new areas of damage and failure emerged. In April of 2018, a technical team arrived back on island and were engaged in carrying out repairs at Jimmit's campsite, repairing the buildings and restoring service connections. Extensive cleaning and restoration activities took place at the Bulu campsite, particularly to re-establish the batch plant that was necessary to supply concrete for various working sites. Remedial work along most of the interventions along the road was also necessary. And even after all this remedial work, restoration and contractual work was complete, and we overcame the environmental challenges, we had to face a new trial in 2020 to get engineers from the People's Republic of China to inspect the bridges prior to the handover. All this in a COVID-19 era. And this is critical because the pride of the People's Republic of China is attached to every gift and every intervention in Dominica. So this is why today is special. In fact, it's a celebration of our victory over adversity. This day signifies cooperation between two governments. It is the hallmark of the steady leadership that we have been fortunate to have under the steady hand of the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. It signifies his commitment and our commitment to you. As a nation, we are not free from challenges. We are not removed from difficulties by any means. But this day shows that our government is resolute. It's resolute in getting things done in the face of adversity. Our government is serious about transforming anguish into unbridled triumph. So when the day comes and we share the story of the rehabilitation of the Leblanc Highway, let it be known that bridges can and will be built over troubled waters as long as the foundation is on steady ground. We will lay it down. We will lay it down. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Minister, for clearly articulating the scope and background to the project. So now to provide us with remarks, let's welcome His Excellency Lu Kun, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China.
Today is really, for me, it's really honor and a pleasure to attend such an important handover ceremony held in Dominica for the West Coast Road Rehabilitation Project. I should say, and on behalf of the Chinese government and also on behalf of the Chinese Embassy in Dominica, I would like to extend my deep congratulations to the conclusion and handover of this project from the Chinese government to the government of Dominica. This road should be said is a very, very important and also most important road link between Roseau and Portsmouth in Dominica. It's most busy and traffic busy way in Dominica. I think this road is also a road of the cooperation, a road of the development, and also a road of the friendship between China and the Dominica. When I arrived in Dominica in 2016, Actually, this road is in the very, very bad conditions after the suffer from the Erika storm in 2015, in August of 2015, I should have said. So, concerning with such situation in Dominica, the Chinese government has really attached great importance to the rehabilitation of the West Coast Road project. So on this project, I would like to say that first, this project is very, very important to the development and transportation to Dominica. And also, I would like to say, express my deep thanks to the, especially to the Qingjie group for their hard working for more than 3 years. I should say more than 3 years. The Qingjie group, they already, because I experienced all the time of their hard job in this road. During the past 3 years, the most important challenge for them is the Helicum area. Just when the project underwent less than halfway, this road was underwent the Helicum area in 2017. So all the projects stopped at that time. There was no electricity, no food, nothing they can doing this project. But soon after the electricity and the other resumed in Dominica, they came back from China to continue to do this project. The second challenge for Qingjie company is that the last year they underwent the dengue disease pandemic, because last year there are many Chinese, including Chinese project managers and workers suffered from the dengue disease, especially also many workers working for our Chinese embassy project. The third challenge is that they faced the COVID-19 this year, at the beginning of this year. So I should say this project, also its experiences past 3 years, but during past 3 years, there are many challenges, many difficulties. They overcome these difficulties and finish this project, I should say, almost in time, not dragged too long. When I go from Roseau to Portsmouth, driving on this road, I can always saw many workers from Qingjie Group. They working day and night, even in the shining, scorching sunshine. They're working very hard, tirelessly. So I should pay my personal respect to the project manager and all the workers of this project from the Qingjie Group. The second, I should say, express my deep thanks to Honorable Prime Minister and his government, and also the Ministry of the Public Works for your fully support to this project. Because without the support of the government, especially without the support of the Dr. Scarlett and the Prime Minister, I think this project cannot be finished so soon and so smoothly. So many technical works for this project also came from the local technicians, local employees, because this project also employed a lot of local employees, local workers. So they also make great contributions to this project. So I should also thanks to these people, the government, the ministry, and the local peoples. Thirdly, I should also express the thanks to the residents around the roads, this West Coast Road. Thank them for their understanding, for their cooperation, for their supporting when the project's going on. Because repairing the roads, it's sometimes it will interfere the traffic, the normal traffic. But the people, the residents around this road, they understand, they cooperate very well for this project. So anyway, this road, I should say, is the best quality. And after the scrutinization and the examination by the Chinese experts, they gave the evaluation of this bridge and the road is good quality, right, Mr. Wang? Good quality. So it's the very, very high quality. I think the Qingjie group is a large group in China. They also have many, many projects in all over the world, not only in China. They have many projects in Singapore and other African countries, also other Asian countries. They also doing large projects. They have good and abundant experiences in doing this project. I can guarantee to all of you, all the VIPs here, the 3 bridges on this road will experience all kinds of the hurricane, even more than 5 category hurricanes. I can show. So even last year, I still remember when Prime Minister Dr. Scarlett and his cabinet minister visited the venue of the Qingjie group, and they introduced to Prime Minister about the quality of this project. Because all the pillars of these bridges deep into about 20 meters underground. So the quality is not a problem, I think. I also told them before, even the road was washed away, the bridge will still stand there, no problem. So quality is the most important. The Chinese government has already emphasized the quality of all the falling aid projects, like the projects here in York Valley Bridge, Newtown Primary Schools, and also stadium, the stadium in Roseau, and also other projects. These projects, I should say, will experience, can underwent all kind of the floods and the hurricanes. So like the Newtown Primary Schools, this primary school experienced the Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. It's no problem. This is the falling aid projects. This is falling aid projects. And also York Valley Bridge, I should say it's also no problem. So all the government officials and the local residents, so you can take the ease that the quality of this road and this bridge is no problem. And finally, I should say that this year is a very, very special year and also very, very difficult years. 2020. Everybody will remember this year, 2020, because in China and also in Dominica and all over the world experienced COVID-19 this year. The economy of the world, economy of China and Dominica also suffered a lot during this COVID-19. And also at this moment, China also experienced the massive floods in China because this year is very, very abnormal normal in China. In the Yangtze River areas, a lot of rains and floods. So many people in China these days fighting against the floods, because these floods also cause a lot of and massive damages and casualties, loss of lives in China also. I should say that the COVID-19 in Dominica, under the leadership of the Prime Minister Dr. Skerritt and his Labour government, take very strong and tough measures to control the spread of COVID-19. Everybody can see that the situation in Dominica is much better than all over the world, especially than other Latin American countries. So the leadership, the Prime Minister, is very sensitive and also very quickly to take the measures to prevent the pandemic of this disease spreading in Dominica. And just now, some ministers mentioned about the friendship between China and Dominica. I should say, the Chinese government regard Dominica and also Prime Minister Dr. Skerritt himself is very friendly and a good partner, good friend, and the best cooperator in this region. Although China still have many difficulties, different areas, but the Chinese government will firmly continue to provide the support for the development and social, for the social economy in Dominica. As we mentioned, we still going on the China-Dominic Friendship Hospital, and now we going on very smoothly. And the project manager, Mr. Zhang Wei, is also here today, and the project still will going on. And also, I should have the good news to tell us that China will continue very soon to build the agriculture complex building in Portsmouth, in Minister's area. This project is already passed by the Chinese government, and also actually it's on the process of the getting bids for the construction company. So after finish the bidding procession, the Chinese government will send the company to Dominica very soon to start this project. Another very important project is the 6 schools destroyed by the hurricane. Also, Chinese government will start its process. And I should say, it also will be began to build very soon, these 6 schools. It's very important. And these schools is for the students to study. So Prime Minister Dr. Skerritt himself is very concerned about these projects, especially for the students' schools. So, and also, lastly and finally, you are most concerned about is international airport. So, after the COVID-19, the pandemic goes over, I think the Chinese government will send the technical experts came to Dominica very soon, because this project is also Prime Minister Dr. Skerritt very most concerned about it. So anyway, the Chinese government always will stand together with the government of Dominica. Regard Dominica as very important country in this region. And also the Chinese government expressed thanks to the government of Dominica for your support to the Chinese government. This is mutual. So anyway, the friendship can lasting going on. It's mutual support. It's mutual support. So today, I take this opportunity to thank you everybody to be here to attend this ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency Luku, for your remarks, and of course, thank you for the continued support of the government of the People's Republic of China. We will take a break from our speeches and will now call on the sixth form Cicero singers for some entertainment.
Maker of the morning light, you sing over me.
You speak the day and call the night, and you sing over me.
Voices shouts the thunderstorms and tells the blind to see. You whisper love into my heart, and you sing over me. Sing over me. Your songs of joy, your songs of healing and salvation, and you sing over me. Anthems of love, crescendo above.
I'm the theme of your song.
As I sing to you, you sing over me.
Songs of heaven, heart of God.
You sing over me. Oceans clap and trees applaud, and you sing over me. Keeper of the universe, you hold eternity. But look down at your child and smile, and you sing over me. Sing over me. Your songs of joy, your songs of healing and salvation, and you sing over me. Anthems of love, crescendo above. And the carol of your heart.
I'm the theme of your song.
As I sing to you, you sing over me. A lullaby of gentleness, or chorus shouted bold.
The rhythm of your faithfulness is beating in my soul.
A symphony of the music of the King. I listen in amazement. It's over me. Your songs of joy, your songs of healing and salvation, and you sing over me. Anthems of love, crescendo above. And the carol of your heart.
I'm the theme of your song.
All creation sings your praise.
With the melody strong,
As I sing to you, Lord, you sing over me. Sing over me. Sing over
Thank you, sixth form Cicero singers. I'll now call on the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit to address us, and immediately after the Honorable Minister addresses us, we'll have the signing of the handing over certificate by the Prime Minister and Ambassador Lukon.
I want to, first of all, thank the government
and people of the People's Republic of China for their continued demonstration of friendship to the people and government of Dominica. When I took the solemn decision to establish diplomatic relations with China in 2004, I did so because, one, I always felt that there was but one China, and that Dominica needed to adhere and respect international law. Because in international law, there is but one China. So when you hear we say we support the one China principle, we're in fact adhering to historical fact, but also international law. And so, Ambassador, again, rest assured that this government, which I have the honor to lead, will always adhere and respect the one China principle. I also want to say to you also that Dominica does not get itself involved in internal matters relating to countries. But we have recognized that in the international press and in some countries, they have attempted and continue to attempt to interfere in the internal affairs of countries. And sometimes they do it with impunity. And I want to say to you, Your Excellency, as I have conveyed to your President and to your government, that Dominica stands in total solidarity with all of the legal actions which China has had to take to maintain law and order in the whole of China, including that of Hong Kong. And we stand in solidarity with the government of the People's Republic of China in this regard. In the conduct of our diplomatic relations and international relations, Dominica does so with respect, with sincerity, and with a high degree of transparency. We don't play games with countries. If we say that we're your friend, we shall stand with you in good times and, very importantly, bad times. And just to say to us in this country, the way we conduct our relations is no different in the way we should be conducting our own personal relationships with each other. That a friend must know that you will be with him or with her in good times and more difficulty, more specifically in bad times. And what China has demonstrated to us in Dominica, that they're not only there with us in good times, they are there with us more so in our difficult period. And for this short period which we've had diplomatic relations with China, you have seen the impact and the contributions which China has made to the people of Dominica. In every sphere of our economic and social advancement and development, China has played that important role. And today we are here to commission 3 important bridges that would have cost the government a significant sum, more than likely by way of a loan. And this gift to us means that it will allow us to use this fund that we would have used otherwise for other economic and social developmental programs and projects. And you will have countries which will want to lecture us and to demand of us certain things, but they were not part of our economic and social development. And I think it's important that we in Dominica understand what we're talking about when we speak about international relations and friendship. And so, Ambassador, words cannot express my personal thanks and that of the government of Dominica and the people of Dominica for the extraordinary commitment of your government and its people. And for our students, just to let you know, while China might be the 2nd largest economy in the world, it has poverty itself. Poverty which you will see nowhere in Dominica. But because of its extraordinary commitment to small island developing states and its international responsibility, it is sharing with us the resources that it has. China doesn't owe us anything, my dear friends. We have friendship, but they don't owe us anything. We have friendship with many other countries who give us nothing at all, even our most difficult period. But that's not the case with the People's Republic of China. They stand with us, and they continue to stand with us even today. And this is a very important day for us. At a time when the entire world, Dominica included, continues to grapple with the impact of COVID-19, the severe economic dislocation which COVID-19 has caused. And so the commitments which China have made to us, they could have said to us, as could have happened in the past, and which never happened, that look, things are difficult with us in China. We have to call back all of our Chinese compatriots to come back home and to end these projects or cut shut where they are because they need the resources to be spent in other parts of China. No, they didn't do that. What did they do? They redoubled the efforts to ensure that the commitment which they made to us can be fulfilled within the time frame which they made that commitment to us. And again, Ambassador, thank you very much. And for those of us who, sometimes, I get the impression that we in Dominica have gotten so accustomed to so many things that this Labour Party has done for us that we take things for granted. And then you hear people talk about, well, government must do this. The question is, well, if government must do this, why didn't all the governments before this Labour Party did it? That were they wicked? They don't like Dominicans? All of the young people who were sent to China, how many dozens of young people were sent to China to be educated in the United States of America, the University of West Indies? The thousands of homes that we have built for Dominicans, the improvement to the infrastructure, the revolution in healthcare in Dominica, both in terms of the infrastructure and training of doctors. Today that we have more than any time in our history, specialists, born Dominicans working in Dominica, leading the healthcare efforts in our country. This is what Labour is doing and has been doing for Dominica. And so we will continue on this thrust. And you heard the ambassador indicated about the international airport. This international airport, I am convinced, will come to fruition for the people of Dominica. Because we understand and appreciate as a government, as a country, how important that project is to ensure our sustainable development path that we have been following continues and be realized. And today is a very special day for us, as a country that has been impacted so dramatically by natural disasters. We impacted by Erika, by Ophelia before, and Erika, Maria, COVID-19. And we have not cut salary by 1%, by 0.5%. We continue to provide for the social safety nets to ensure that our senior citizens have the resources that they need. That our children who are at school, we continue to provide for their tuition and housing and meals. And that we continue to diligently work on improving our infrastructure. These things don't come easy, my friends. It appears to be easy because we do it out of a commitment to this country. Because of our love for our country, Dominica, as a party. And when you follow the public discourse, this is the only party that really speaks and does constructive things. And just, God forbid, if the electors of Dominica decided otherwise and put other people in office, you understand where Dominica would be now? So, my dear friends, it is a time to celebrate, but it's also a time for sober reflection as a country, as a nation. Reflect on our own contribution to our economic development. Yes, China is there and they will help us, and our friends from Venezuela, even if they're having their own difficulties, they have reached out to us and been fighting COVID-19. Other countries were even stopping our supplies from coming, things that we paid for. They were taking it, and Venezuela is under sanctions, reached out to us with PCR tests and rapid tests and other PPEs and so forth. So when you see me and you hear me talking in defense and in solidarity with China and so on, I'm doing it out of a matter of principle, ladies and gentlemen. And we must stand on principle. I always said it, always a saying, you can negotiate words, but you can't negotiate principles. And the point is, there are some national leaders in this country who are prepared and will continue to negotiate principles every single day. They don't worry about principles. They're more concerned about words. And when you hear them speak, you think they're the brightest people in the whole world, you know. So this is a major point of celebration. We've seen, as the ambassador indicated, the Chinese working so diligently, day in, day out, because they're here as ambassadors to their country. I think we need to, Dominicans, we need to learn a few things from our Chinese sisters and brothers. Now the sun sets at 6:45, but people pack their tools at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and go home and sleep. We have to work a little much harder, much harder here in Dominica than we're doing. There must be a greater commitment to our country's development. And be more constructive. Yes, we can criticize, but constructive criticism that's what required. How do we make things better? What is our own individual and collective contribution to these things? So these are questions I would like us to ponder upon as a nation, as a country. But I really am grateful to the government of China. These bridges have been designed and constructed, taking into consideration our resilience agenda. And you've seen with regards to the bridge down by the market in town, it survived Hurricane Maria. And the bridge in the York Valley, it survived Hurricane Maria. And the Newtown Primary School unscathed. Because when the Chinese government builds something in any country, including China, it can stand the test of time and the natural disasters which we are subjected to. So these 3 bridges are properly constructed, and we are satisfied that in the event we will be impacted by a natural disaster, that these 3 bridges will stand and to continue to provide connection between the north and the south of Dominica. And I know road users cannot wait to use these bridges from this afternoon and onwards. And we're very grateful. Again, Ambassador, we will thank you. We will thank you again for the support which China provided to us in fighting COVID-19. That while you yourself, you were grappling with COVID-19, this pandemic, you were able to reach out to Dominica and many countries across the world in providing supplies to us. And I dare say, with the support of the government of China, we were in a better position to contain the spread of COVID-19 in Dominica. And we look forward to your continued collaboration. And in respect to the WHO and the World Health Assembly, we stand in total solidarity with the People's Republic of China on these matters. Those who want to leave the WHO, they can leave if we want, but the rest of us in the world will remain and continue providing leadership to the world. But it is really a wonderful time for us here, and we look forward to the completion of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital that is well on its way. The contractor here is making great progress. They have redoubled their commitment in their efforts, and we look forward to the completion of this facility. And we saw how useful it has been thus far to us. We have seen an improvement in the delivery of healthcare services because the facilities are much more modern and much more befitting of the 21st century. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Dominicans, my citizens, fellow citizens, in the midst of all of these challenges, there are many things that we can be excited about in Dominica. And then the fact is we have to thank God for this, because I'm not sure anywhere in the Caribbean that people would be talking about commissioning such facilities and giving keys to homes and hospitals being built and plans are being made to build a new airport and health centers are being built. The hospital in Marigot, we're about to pour the roof, and the Member of Parliament hasn't even visited there since last year, hasn't been in the site at all. But nonetheless, the work is ongoing. All of these things are happening in the midst of the pandemic where every country was going to shut down. So while every country was going to shut down and lock down, we continue to push and get things going for the people of Dominica. Farmers have input, they do not know what to do with it. You know, fertilizer and other implements. They don't know what to do with it. Small business people are getting money at the aid bank, though I believe the aid bank need to go faster and so forth, but people are getting money. And the aid bank at 1%. And the Social Security, people are getting their income support, $15.7 million. We've had natural disasters in the past, we've had pandemics in the past, and none of those things were put in place for our people. But this is a party that was founded on principles, some guiding principles, which are now guiding our every action, every policy, every program, or every legislation. And so there's something that we have to be excited about. We're not daunted in this country. There are challenges, yes, but we are being equal to the challenge because of our undying commitment to this country and our people. That's what it is, that the ministers are working night and day. And even after we leave there, we go back to cabinet to finish up on a number of important matters. You know, they're really hoping I can go on vacation for a year and so on, and not beat them up. But there is this commitment to build this country. And so I want to applaud you, the people of Dominica. Applaud you for electing this Labour Party back into office for a fifth unprecedented term. Because as all of you recognize, those of you who voted for this party and those who didn't vote for the party recognize that had the Labour Party not been in government in this time to confront this pandemic, as we say, cockroach would smoke on your pipe. Crapo? Crapo. But it's the same thing, crapo, cockroach, what's wrong with that? Maybe cockroach for real? Yeah, no cockroach. I'll say cockroach, I'm sorry. But we can smile now because you have a Labour Party government. You have a Labour Party government in office. But Ambassador, I also want to thank you personally and Mr. Wang for your commitment, your hard work. You have worked so diligently on this project, helping us to push it forward and to advance it. And so we would not be here without the able support of Ambassador Lu and Mr. Wang, who are exceptional representatives of the country here in Dominica. And we're very grateful to you and to all your staff for this. And to the contractor, I certainly will be penning a letter to the Premier commending you on the exceptional work that you have done here in the Gulf of Dominica on behalf of the Chinese government. we're very, very grateful for this, for what you have done for us, and we will be eternally grateful. And so I want to thank all of you for being here, and again to say to the government of China that Dominica stands in absolute solidarity with your leadership in confronting the economic and social and health challenges in China, but also the national security of the whole of the People's Republic of China. God bless all of you. May God bless the relationship which exists between Dominica and the People's Republic of China. Thank you very much.